Good morning, Gallatin and Park County. It's 7 minutes after the hour. It's Saturday. It's April 22nd, 2023. Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor in the house. Let me bring in the best co-host in radio working today, Shane Montalban, half man, half amazing, in beautiful Kamloops, Canada. Montana's only international business and political show. How you doing, Shane?
Well, when you're in this for as long as we have been, it's like, that's a long introduction. Anyway, Eagle Man, I just want to wish you a happy, belated or debated or delayed 420. So,
Okay, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed yourself with the dogs barking. Barking.
Yeah, that's true. They did. So. Yeah, 420 is Marijuana Day, I guess. I think it started in Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where it started, but anyway, 420 was become the synonymous for pot smokers. So all you 420 guys out there, are glad to have you back, sane and coherent.
Yeah, that's right. Unless the ones that took the edibles, they're probably still running.
Well, yeah, they're still running on empty. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Well, Shane, it's Earth Day, it's Oklahoma Day, it's International Mother Earth Day, and Sunday is National Picnic Day. So if you're going out picnicking, always remember, picnic safe. Always use condiments.
That's right. Yes, with flat sheets.
All right. It's 246 shopping days till Christmas.
Well, why would they have a picnic day towards the end of April when most of the world is still in winter?
I know. Yeah. Doesn't make sense, does it? That shows you. That's a
July. That should be a July day.
I was going to say that just demonstrates how stupid they are. Whoever in Washington D.C. makes these national holidays. So maybe it's warm.
Well,
maybe it's warm there, Shane. I don't know. The cherry blossoms are out. So
your Secretary of Treasury wants $20 million to put breasts, I guess you'd call them. We can say on wreck dummies for testing dummies for cars.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. So I mean, everything's acceptable. Anything is possible.
Well, apparently. Well, I'm glad the National Automotive Safety Bureau wants to keep abreast of the crash situations going on.
That's right.
So so that's
there you go. Very good. That's well done, Eagle Man.
Yeah. Well, I'm not just a pretty face, So.
No. Yet you are though.
Okay, maybe. They're also going to shut down the COVID number site. The site we used to go to and cite how many people got COVID and all that stuff. So that's going away. We're going to get rid of that thing. So
yeah, they figured over 6 million people dying worldwide was okay.
Was enough, I guess. Yeah. Well, it's cleansing of the gene pool, I guess.
Yeah. Well, as we the COVID-19 folks just. To give you a reminder, the flu, the H1N1 flu, killed more people. Over 5 million in the first year, and then over 10, before they claimed they came up with a vaccine. But so look what they did with one that wasn't even as bad.
Yeah, that's for sure. So,
nothing to laugh about because a lot of loss of life, but half of those people died from something else.
Well, yeah, COVID may have been a contributing factor, but it wasn't the main reason they died. So, and we'll never know because you can't perform autopsies on that many people. So, anyway, well, we know how that went. Shane, if you're thinking about buying a home, or any of you out there who are buying a home, you may want to get it done before May 1st if you have a high credit score. And wait till after May 1st if you have a horrible credit score, because Biden has come out with a new rule that will tax homeowners with good credit to lower costs for those with bad credit. So there you are, Shane. I mean, we're leveling the playing field in home buying, and that's going to start by executive order on May 1st. So.
Well, that's right. The Democrats are trying everything they can to get what they believe are Democratic voters, minorities, because they're the party of minorities, they protect the minorities, right? That's their job.
That's it.
And you know, the Republican Party is the party of majority, but that's what they believe. So the Democrats are trying to force on suburbs, you know, minimum housing. Obama started this in New York City, in one of the suburbs there, and got a court order for them to build 10,000, you know, units for low-income families, because they want to spread out those votes so they can get total control of the suburbs like they have the inner city.
There you go. Well, homeowners with credit scores of 680 or higher, 680 points or higher, will pay around $40 more per month on a $400,000 home loan. Home buyers who make down payments of 15 to 20%, they'll face the highest fees, and the new fees will only apply to Americans buying homes or refinancing them after May 1st. So I'm going to say, if you're on the fence about buying a home, you got what, a few days to get that done. So
well, I'm not giving advice, but I think the price of homes will go lower, and so I would wait, because the Fed is for sure going to raise the Fed rate again in May, and corporate America, commercial real estate is not in a good situation. No. The commercial real estate occupancy rate in New York City right now 52%.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID 98.5%.
Yeah.
So has not come back, and probably won't in the near future.
Well, there you go. From our text line, 406-478-8298, has Tom gotten his spring due yet? I can't see anything on this stupid radio.
Well, he needs a glass and some ice before he can have his due.
Yeah, I need adult beverage this morning.
That's right.
Also from our text line, oh my God, Biden is a dumbass. Yes, he is. I'd argue if I could, but man, the boy needs help. I'll tell you.
Yeah, well,
all the way.
It's non-ending. He's in the Rose Garden yesterday or the day before, talking about his plans, and tells everybody that could you please stand, except for the person in the wheelchair. We know he can't.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
he blew that one a long time ago. So.
Oh man, no, he's said something like that many times to people. Wow.
Yeah.
And they didn't like Trump's tweets.
Yeah,
that's laughable.
Well, he said today he's known for sunglasses and chocolate chip ice cream. So that's his two claims to fame, I guess. So I don't know. Well, Facebook got hit with a fine along with Fox News. We'll talk about that in a minute. But massive $725 million settlement involving Facebook's parent company, Meta, was tentatively approved by a judge last month, paving the way for users of the social media platform to apply for a chunk of the payout. And Shane, I sent my form in to get a chunk of the payout, which will come September 1st, I believe, by the time they hash it all out and see how many people apply in the class action suit.
I sure hope it's not enough to cover the cost of the envelope and letter and check that they send you. So I'm guessing it'll be like $1.87.
Yeah. Well, I put it up for direct deposit. Yeah, it may be $1. What do you got? 10 billion users in the. Well, there's only 8 billion people,
no,
but
two. No, there's
there's a couple billion people around the world that use this.
No, but the 1.5 billion are in the other parts of the world.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So.
Yeah, in the United States, about 250 million, I believe, almost.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who watch our replays, I'll put the link to the Facebook claim form on our, replay page. So.
But don't be surprised that you find out that it costs you more to probably send it than what you get back.
Well, it's online. You don't have to send anything. So there you go.
That was a rhetorical joke.
You got to tell me before you tell jokes. Let me know. So
I don't tend to laugh at my own jokes. So maybe if I laughed at them, you'd.
Yeah, that would give us a clue. So Yeah, the Facebook thing. This goes back to uh, if you're a user between May 24th, 2007 and December of 22, you're eligible for a settlement from them. And Facebook reports 2 billion users globally, about 200 million in the United States and Canada. Only U.S. Users are eligible for a payment chain, so you're out of luck. This is a U.S. Fine, so it's going to considerably cut down on the number of people who will apply.
So did you look at the fine print to see if it was for their involvement in the decision making in elections, or they're interfering with elections?
Let's see. I've got to find that in here somewhere.
It's a yes or no answer.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my answer. There are two ways to submit a claim online or by mail. You can click online, and as I say, I'll put the link to the form in our replay page. You can get that by going to Tom and Shane Business and Politics at KMMSAM.com.
By the way, everyone, if you want to go to our link page that Tom's talking about, you need to, from our last podcast, Tom put a link up there for you to access the IA supercomputer and ask it questions.
Yeah.
So you can open that link, which is why you should go to our podcast, look it up, and go there. And on top of that, you want to subscribe, because we need you to do that. We need money.
That's right.
And we want you to like it, and then go and ask it questions about your kids, and maybe yourself, or it may be able to tell you stuff about it. It was quite cool. We tested it out.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we actually asked, what are the 10 advantages of listening or watching Tom and Shane on YouTube? And it came back with some glowing reviews for us. So
5.
That's how we know it's really good. So
we take pride in our work.
Yeah. Bongino got fired from Fox. We talked about that on our podcast.
Now be careful what you're saying. I know it's free speech and all that, but that he's not saying they fired him.
Well, yeah, but
he's claiming it was a disagreement about his salary, and he's only getting paid a few million, and Hannity's getting paid $25 million. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, everybody over there's making a couple million a month, I think. So they're doing okay.
Yeah, that's right. Either that, or his ratings collapsed, or because of the settlement that they had with Dominion, because he was one of the biggest spokesmen about it. That may have been part of the settlement.
I think it's probably part of the deal. Yeah. Well, he's not on Fox Radio, so he'll still be on our station here. He's on Westwood, so it's a whole different thing from Fox, as far as I know.
And he started Rumble, and he's got his own show on Rumble.
Yeah, he's got his own show and podcasts and things like that. So,
but he's been on a couple of years, so he's got money in the bank.
Yeah. Well, he should, I think. So yeah. So. Yeah, we'll see who else comes less, or who comes next, I should say.
Well, they're redoing Guilford's show for tomorrow night.
Gutfeld?
Or Gutfeld, yeah. And then, what's that gentleman's name? He's an African-American.
Lawrence Jones. Lawrence Jones is going to take his place.
Yeah, Lawrence Jones will be on until they make a decision on a permanent host.
Yeah, so... There
it
we
should
go.
Be you. You would be good.
I would be good. We would both be good there. I don't know.
No. I just want to be one of those sidekicks.
Oh, you want to sit there with Teft, the skinny gal with the glasses? Yeah, you can sit next to her. Yeah, there you go.
Not particularly her, but that'd be okay. But there are a lot of really good-looking women in Fox.
Well, there are. Yeah, it's a prerequisite, I think so. From our text line, 406-478-8298. Biggest story of the week, Fox paid almost $1 billion to keep their lies out of court. No, they didn't. Fox settled, not a fine. No, it wasn't a fine. They settled.
And 3/4 is no way close to one, so.
Yeah. And Mike Lindell paid $5 million to...
that's right. So they paid less than half. Yeah. 1.6.
Yeah. Well, they settled for half because they didn't have a case, Shane. It's defamation is really, really hard to prove. Yeah.
Well, that and the costs involved, and remember the lawyers get 60% of the settlement.
Well, I know that's the
And the insurance company, as you pointed out, brilliantly. Whoa, too big a word in this time of the day.
yeah,
You pointed out the insurance. They've got insurance for that. So,
yeah,
and they make $14.2 billion a year. They're over $1 billion a month or whatever, Fox for
yeah. I was going to
income.
say this is a drop in the bucket, and I'm sure Dominion came to them and asked to settle rather than the other way around.
And they get to write off all their legal fees as an expense.
Sure, yeah.
So it's not and it's been in the news, so and it's about Trump and on and on and on.
From our app chat line, AM 1450 KMMS on your smartphone, saw my absentee ballot and just about had a heart attack. Every measure will raise my taxes terribly, but the sneakiest by far is the Gallatin Valley Urban Transportation District. The claim there is no cost to the district is a lie, in my opinion. I talked to the person who wanted me to sign the petition to get this on the ballot, and she said there would be no cost beyond the federal grant. Federal money, tax dollars. Also, what about this opens the door for future taxes? Those of us on a fixed income are becoming taxed out of our homes. I'm voting no on everything. So there you go.
Yeah, that's a truism. I mean, any tax they institute always grows. They never reduce. Never.
And also from our chat line, AM 1450 KMMS, the left owns most of the entertainment industry, big tech and MSM. Sorry, it went away. Big boycotting doesn't work on most brands because everyone uses them. But with Budweiser, this is one boycott conservatives can win and actually send a message to a lot of companies. So there you are.
That's it.
All right.
Damn the facts, buddy.
Damn the facts, full speed ahead. All right. Let's see. I got the Facebook thing out of the way. Well, let's talk a little bit about Dominion because it was $787 million settlement instead of $1.6 billion. So I would say that's a win for Fox. They don't have to go to court. They don't have to admit any guilt of anything. There's no apology to Dominion as far as the settlement goes. Nothing that says Fox did anything wrong. So, it's a done deal. And
it's very cool when you think about it. Because this only took 2 years.
Yeah, I know. Well, the settlement came just hours before opening arguments in the trial. Were slated to begin in a Delaware courtroom. Shields Fox from what was likely to have been grueling and potentially embarrassing span of several weeks, focusing on its internal strife around the time of the 2020 election. So that may or may not have been true. So details of the deal were not immediately disclosed, but Dominion lawyer Justin Nelson said the settlement was reached at about $787.5 million. So,
well, Murdoch, the old man that put it all together, is still honorary chairman, and they had him on their witness list, and he's in his 90s. I mean,
yeah, I don't think he knows where he is or what's going on. So,
well, he's on, The Price is Right, looking for another Chinese woman for because he likes them. For wives. He's been through 6 wives.
Yeah. Well, the settlement figure falls short of the $1.6 billion the company had been demanding in its lawsuit, but the $787.5 is far more than the $80 million valuation of Dominion. That's what they paid to acquire it from an equity group in 2018, and Dominion said in an unsealed report that it sustained $921 million in damage to its business, $88 million from lost profits, and $600 million in lost future profits due to Fox coverage. As far as I know, Shane, that would still be lost. I don't, why settle? Why settle for less than you're losing? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
regrettably, what those numbers tell you is they make less than 100 million a year.
Yeah.
Number one, number two, it is a Canadian company, so that's
Yeah.
another 38% devaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Their encryption they have the money now, but they don't have to go out and dilute the company or the stock rather, and the shareholders to
Mm-hmm.
raise money to get their encryption going, so they may get better sales.
Yeah.
And finally, I reminisced over BlackBerry. I mean, remember BlackBerry 10
Yep.
or 15 years
Mm-hmm.
ago? Best encryption in the business. Everybody loved it. Governments loved it because it was encrypted. And then along comes a situation where the RCMP demands the backdoor to it so they can check on someone's phone.
Mm-hmm.
And, they don't tell anyone for 6 months. We tell everyone a year before anyone else. And boom, what happens? BlackBerry's gone. And
Mm-hmm.
they've had to, they couldn't sue the RCMP.
Yeah.
But once everybody found out that, their encryption had been breached, basically,
Mm-hmm.
you and I used to laugh that the RCMP probably had all the Hillary's emails that she's accused of destroying, right? So,
Right. So
anyway, long story short, they reinvented themselves, but they're
mm-hmm.
not nearly what they were before with the cell business they had.
Yeah. From our text line, 4788298, question, why did Fox News settle? Answer, because in court you're sworn to tell the truth. Well, Dominion had to give Fox what they had on Fox in Discovery. So,
Yeah, and in their pretrial requests for witnesses and documents, Fox finds out what they're going to do.
Yeah, Fox says, hey, you guys don't have a chance of winning this. We'll settle for half just to avoid the trial and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, under your Constitution and the Bill of Rights, the reason the expression is don't ask a question you don't want an answer to.
That's true.
Because, all questions and answers are basically provided to both sides, and I got to go by.
That's true. All right. We'll be right back with more Tom and Shane coming up. So we got a lot to talk about this morning, a lot of stuff going on in the news. Wow. So we'll be right back right after these important words in Fox News. Minutes for the top of the hour. It's Saturday. It's April 22nd, 2023. We're happy to have you along with us. Thank you for taking us into your shop, into your car, into your kitchen, into your wherever you are right now. We're happy to be along here with you. And let's see, Jane, from our text line, 4788298. Fox won because their sins remain out of the public. No, they don't. How many emails were released, Shane, about Fox's doing whatever there were several.
Big deal.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I guess it is a big deal. $787 million worth.
Which is less than half. Do the math. 785 times 2 is 1.5.
Yeah, so, but that may be $100 million email.
Yeah, they settled for less than half of what they wanted, and and it's less than what they say they lost by a long way. So so why settle? Dominion still has a case against Kraken lawyer, Rudy and Lindell. We'll see what happens with those. Shane is spinning a story. Dominion machines are solid and not connected to the internet. And I'm here to tell you that Shane never mentioned once that the Dominion machines were attached to the internet in any way.
No, I never did. I did think that they had an issue, but we sort of went over that. And the reason we went over it was because of Trump got more votes, like in what was the state? Was it Pennsylvania or wherever, where there weren't Dominion machines in the rural, and he got 78%, but in the urban areas he didn't, where they were used. So that's what drove him crazy.
Well, yeah, they were alleged, Dominion was alleged to have been able to program their machines to flip a certain percentage of votes.
Yeah.
From Biden to, or from Trump to Biden.
And that wasn't the case. So.
Yeah, so. Well, as we say, there's no evidence presented so far that disputes the election, correctly, I guess, or whatever. So, uh, you know, so.
And it's not old news. The Nixon
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy election was decided by less than 250,000 votes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Bush's
Bush Gore.
huh?
Bush Gore.
Yeah, Bush Gore, less
Mm-hmm.
than 250. Obama's second election against that idiot from Utah, less than 250.
Mm-hmm.
Trump, less than 250 in 16, and less than 250 in 20. So there
Yeah.
you go.
All right.
So only 250. So people's votes do count.
They do
that's
count.
the thing everybody should cherish.
You bet. Absolutely. Let's take a phone call. 406-522-TALK is the number. 406-522-8255. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Jerry.
Well, Jerry.
Hello, great one. Good morning. Good morning.
Well, hello there. Just FYI, gentlemen, there were a whole lot of Democrats, politicians, computer people, all kinds of folks on major news networks railing on these electronic voting machines back several years ago when they were first going to be initiated. How come those folks, that network that they were on isn't being taken to the cleaners by Dominion?
Yeah.
Do you get what's going on here?
Well, of course,
we really
do.
upset.
Sure.
But we have you to tell us, so go for it, Jerry.
Well, the mere fact that they were that only Fox is being put on the hot seat, that's crazy. These people should also be who put this information out and put these news reports out. And I think it was Bongino. He played 21 minutes of sound bites of these people saying they can be hacked, saying these machines are inaccurate, saying all kinds of things against these machines. But now all of a sudden they're the bee's knees.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I like that, bee's knees.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. Hey, fellas, I have a question for you, Tom.
Yep.
Us being in the military, why is Teixeira being tried in a civilian court instead of a military court?
Yeah, I was wondering that myself. I wasn't aware that military court was not able to override federal court. So it may have to do with things like the Rosenbergs and people like that. That it's treason. Crimes against the country and whatever.
Yeah, he's being tried by under the Espionage Act, which came into play in 17 by Wilson, who was one of the worst. He did that because he didn't like what people were saying against his policy, especially when it came to engaging troops in the war, in the First World War. But I just couldn't understand that. I mean, the young feller's in the military, and why isn't he in front of a military court? But
yeah,
that's why I ask you Swiss Army knives these things. So
I wish I had an answer for you. The only one reason I can think of, Jerry, is in the military you don't have any rights. In a court martial or a trial by your peers, which will be generals and colonels and
and being a lowly sergeant that I was,
me too. You're a dirtbag,
I call them brass boarded chests.
Yeah, you'd have I don't know how many push-ups I'd have to do to satisfy judgment there.
And then you look across at them, and they got a ton of fruit salad on their chest, and you wonder what are all those ribbons for?
Yeah,
and it just and then you look at what you got, and it's just that orange and yellow one that says national defense, and you're going, I'm in trouble here. Yeah. Hey guys, great news out of the in unemployment, 245,000. First-time claims, 1.8 million continuous. Guys,
Yeah.
Tell me, who is working out there? Is anybody working out there?
I don't think so. You drive around Bozeman, and I'm sure Big Timber or wherever you are, you're seeing now hiring signs all over the place, for 20 or 21, $22 an hour or whatever, and people just aren't taking them. So it must be cheaper to be on some kind of subsidy than it is on go out and make an honest living.
Look at the price of homes in Bozeman. And drive around and see all the homes, and people are making their mortgage payments, so they're working. So, all these numbers around unemployment that the Federal Reserve is claiming they're making a judgment on their Fed rate for is an empty suit, because it has to do with the 7 million illegal aliens that have come into your country, and they're taking part-time jobs, full-time jobs, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever they have to. So. They're filling the void anywhere they go.
Yeah, but this is almost 250,000 first-time unemployment claims, and this is a weekly stat that they throw at us. I mean, come on, guys, that's 10 million a year.
Yeah,
I know, but they're being filled in by these people that are coming in, because and in some cases they've gotten people probably that had 2 or 3 jobs, and they got an increase maybe in salary because of the want for qualified people, so they could afford to drop a job too. So that's going on.
And gentlemen, this call for impeachment on Mayorkas, forget about it. That's really silly, because they're only going to replace him with somebody even most likely worse than him. So leave this guy alone, is my opinion. And the next president, if it's a Republican, is going to run out of ink trying to reverse all these executive orders. That's another thing. And a quick question, guys. Did you hear that Robert F. Kennedy is putting his hat in the ring?
Absolutely, he's got 10 points.
He did a speech on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's got 10 points.
Now, this gentleman is an environmental lawyer. From what he has no experience in politics, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence here. He could give Biden a run for his money.
Yeah, he could. He's an anti-vaxxer. That's his big claim to fame, I think, and protecting children. He's got a couple foundations, I guess, that do this kind of thing. So he's got a shot. He's already up to 10 points. He's ahead of Marianne Williamson by far, and Afro Man the rapper just put his name in for president. So he's a little bit ahead of him. So
So we talked about it on Thursday, and my view is he could win the nomination easily. If he does, Trump will just talk about his uncle, the Lion of the Senate.
Yeah. Yeah, we made that point. I don't know if you catch our podcast, Jerry, but we talked about that he has a speech impediment. He and the gal from Maine, the senator from Maine, they have the same affliction. And it's going to be really hard for, Trump to give him a nickname, and go after him I think he's going to get some sympathy from that. So Trump would, if they come down to debate together, Trump would have to be very careful how he, words his descriptions of Kennedy.
Right.
And I suggested to Tom that if I was advising Trump, to make sure that he makes that soft comment like so many Republican nominees have in the past. We went through the list with Reagan and others, but where he might say to him, I'm sorry, Mr. Kennedy, I didn't quite understand what you said.
Confidentially, guys, I don't care if the candidate is dumb, deaf, and blind, as long as he's an American.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a constitutionalist.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking for. And it doesn't matter the party. It really doesn't. It just gets someone there who is America first and the citizens of America first, and will follow the Constitution, not try to pack the court, close the borders, do something right for the people of America. That's how I feel. But who knows? I'm just one little guy here in Big Timber. That's all.
Yeah.
And all I've got is one vote, and hopefully it'll and count. By the way, good news. Good news.
Yeah.
You ready for this, guys?
All right.
In first place in the commercial wars is, guess what? Come on.
Bud Light?
No.
Taco Bell.
No. No, ZipRecruiter.
Oh, ZipRecruiter, of course. Of course.
What about the Pillow Man? He's got to be up there.
Yeah, that guy's got to be up there.
No.
Yeah.
SelectQuote is tied for second with a LifeLock. So it's a close race up there. But Navage is nowhere to be found. Thank goodness.
Well, Jerry,
guys.
getting back to your initial thing about networks being sued, I've got 4 words for you: Nicholas Sandmann and Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, I hear you.
They picked up big bucks from CNN, ABC, CBS. That Sandman, I think, is probably close to a billionaire, even after the lawyers take their cut.
Right, but look what they had to go through.
Well, that's what I mean, yeah. And Fox said, no, we're not going through that. We'll give you this, otherwise we're going to trial. And, Dominion said, well, half's better than nothing, or a little less than half's better than nothing, so I guess we'll settle for that. And
by the way, Tom, Bongino on his radio program, I just caught it during my coffee break yesterday. Mm-hmm. He said he wasn't fired. He said he just had a contract dispute with Fox. Yeah. So who knows?
Well, I think a contract dispute would be, Dan, we're not going to pay you anymore.
Yeah.
That's how that works. Because that happened to Tom and Shane,
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can still be on Saturday, but we're not paying you Monday through Friday anymore.
Yep. That's why you're glad you work for free. They can't touch it.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, they gave him a check going out the door, so I didn't say anything negative. That there's the bottom line there.
That's true.
All right. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
All right, Jerry. Thanks a lot, man.
Always a pleasure, Jerry. Take care.
Let's take another call. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, good morning, Gloria. There is trouble on the line today. I'm telling you, I don't know why you guys have so much trouble with the phone.
Well, it's Town Square Media and KMMS.
I know. I think I'd fire them.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to get back to this pandemic, this COVID. Well, it's slowly being replaced, of course, with this illegal immigration. Mm-hmm. We've got whooping cough. We've got bubonic plague. We've got tuberculosis. We've got measles. We've got mumps coming into the country now. So thanks to the open borders, and these will replace COVID. So don't worry about it. The media will get a hold of this and make a real big deal out of it, but they won't they won't help solve the problem, shutting down that southern border. And just to let you know, in the last 2 years, just alone, 345,000 unaccompanied minors have entered our country. Where the hell are all these kids? Who's taking them in? What's going on here? And it's costing taxpayers that put them in public schools and everything else. I am really disgusted. And as far as Mayorkas, I want him impeached because he has broke our federal laws, and this is an example to apply our laws and get him out of there. And I think that he will be replaced with Arizona Congressman Briggs, who would be an excellent replacement. This Mayorkas is part of the deep state. He's part of the New World Order plan to take down the USA. I want him out, O-U-T, yes. And I'll tell you something else. This home loan interest rate situation, this is what helped bring us into that 2008 financial catastrophe, and it's going to happen again. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm counting the days, 18 months until we have a new election. As far as Robert Kennedy Jr., there's no way. This proves how desperate the Democrat Party, or the progressive woke party, as I call them, is. They have no one else to put up front. And it's not going to work. Yes, he's got double digits right now against Joe Biden, but we all know Joe Biden's going to lose. I don't know. And I have one question for everybody. Where in the hell is our vice president? The Venus flytrap, Kamala Harris. I haven't seen her in weeks. Has anybody else seen her?
Not lately.
No, she went to space.
Yeah, well, where did she go?
Oh, no, she made a speech this week or had an interview and made a speech this week as well about going to space. That she doesn't realize she's already in space, being on a planet in space, but, it was quite funny.
Yeah, well, she's something else. She's a piece of work, that one. But right now, I'm very angry with everything going on. And I tell you what, I'm counting the days till that election. And this is, we're going to have to get ourselves together. We've lost our government. It's just a hell of a mess. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Nancy. Appreciate it. Take care. All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. It's, well, yeah, Mayorkas had to apologize to a bunch of, a grandmother and the child were killed at the border, and he had to apologize publicly to the crowd that was there while he was testifying. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Well, I don't know how you can sit in front of Congress and say the border's okay. I mean, I realize Fox is the only channel that's carrying anything about immigration at all. I haven't seen anything at CNN or CNBC or MSNBC. Have you, Shane? Or
no, they're not going to cover
NPR. Nothing on the border from those guys. Nothing.
No,
yeah. They're busy covering Biden's behind, whatever they can, and still going after Trump on every level. So. Yeah, I don't know what it takes for these networks to go down there and say, "Hey, people are pouring across the border in droves." You know, I mean, they're put up in hotels at millions of dollars a day. They're trashing the hotels they're in. I mean,
yeah, that's right, and none of it's reported because, as I said before, Ukraine will be Biden's Iran to Carter, and immigration will be to Biden. What Trump brought up against Clinton. And then you add to that, his family woes, because what's been discovered this week is just, you just can't ignore facts. You can't ignore documents, personal reference meetings, documented meetings. It's all their bank transfers. Now we know it's 12 people in the Biden family that have been paid out by the Russians and the Chinese. I mean, it's not a Manchurian candidate; it's a Manchurian family.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all in bed with the Russians and the Chinese. So every decision that you see not being made or even being made with regards to China, Russia, it's in the interest of those countries and not America because they own them. And we brought this up a couple of weeks ago. The bottom line, I guess, the old expression. What broke the camel's back for all of us was China giving the bank records, Chinese bank records of Hunter Biden. I mean, that was over the top.
That's for sure. From our text line 478-8298. Recently, I heard from the hapless Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, that our country has racist roads and highways. Homeland Security tells us southern borders are secure, as upwards of 5 million illegals have entered the country, with roughly 1.5 million getaways. And now the feckless fool, Joe Biden, is forming a new agency called Environmental Justice. I won't be surprised if it's determined that conservative white males are disproportionately destroying the environment. Sure we are.
Boy, it just sounds like such a wise person.
Yeah. Well, the racist roads, I mean, that got to me, Shane. What did you think when
I don't even know how you comment about something like that. What do you say? The idea that roads that have built your country, made your country possible, provides everything that everyone needs. So you're not isolated and you can go anywhere, that somehow they're racist. Of all people, minorities are the ones that won the most because it gave them access to everything that white people have. Yeah, literally. It's the white people throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s, not all till today. Yeah. When Eisenhower started building the international or your national highway system, the inner cities are the ones that won out on that. It's the old highways that were built in the urban or in the rural areas that lost out because, they're doing snap business, and then along come these highways and they bypassed them. Yeah. They became side roads. So, there's always a comment on the other side to these ridiculous notions of racism on their side, because that's all they have. They don't have a notion like I just gave you about this, you know, the original highways being replaced and all those businesses, you know, having it. That's why you know, if it wasn't for Guy Fieri and dinner, drive-ins, and dives, you wouldn't know about all these places. And you know, he's been on that show for like 40 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, Buttigieg claims that you know, blacks are pulled over disproportionately more than whites, and why? Because, well, they commit more of the crimes. You know.
Well, that's right. And
well, and the other thing too is that he's saying, well, you know, in some areas where you know, the people aren't as affluent, the lighting at intersections is not well lit. People are killed by cars because they're poor. They live in poor areas, and that's why the roads are racist. So.
Yeah, well, and now they're poor because without police, which a lot of them don't have now. They don't have the protection. The businesses are burning, being looted, destroyed. You know, people are rampaging around. There's no law. It's anarchy. You know, and we talked about this, literally going back 2 years. That when we were watching the anarchy during COVID in 2021, we said, "Here it is. You know, it's anarchy.
Amen to that.
And it's not going away."
There we go. Yep. Gay says because they are smoking what's coming across the border, Shane. That's why the government is lame. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this first hour. Boy, we still got 2 more full hours to go. You don't want to go anywhere because we got a lot more to talk about. 2 hours. Wow, man, I'm excited. This is going to be great. Oh, I have to go to the dentist on Monday, so I sit in the waiting room. I get there early, and I eat a whole package of Oreos because I want to get my money's worth. So we'll be right back with more right after this. 7 minutes after the hour, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Good morning, everyone. Tom Eagle up, your morning mayor in the house. Shane Matobin, half man, half amazings in Kamloops, Canada, where all the 1960 Vietnam draft guys ended up. Right? Oh, wait a minute. I got to turn you up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Right in the heart of the fruit basket, Canada. And, you know, our fair degree of homeless and, you know, ill-willed people. But we're hanging in there. We're, you know, Sister City, 500 miles northwest of you.
All right, man. We have a caller on the line, 522-TALK-US or 522-8255. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, this is Clint, and I got something to say today. It's very important.
Good morning, good sir.
Good morning there, Shane, up there in Kamloops. Just tell me something, Shane. Does that lake up there in Kamloops, does it... is it got a generating plant? Has it got a dam in it to where it generates power?
No.
Okay.
No, it's the Thompson's a free flowing river. We have Kamloops Lake west of here, and then east we have the little Shuswap and the big Shuswap. That's a big lake. Those should have been dammed, but they were going to do the big Shuswap, but they didn't get to it.
Well, I'll tell you a little happening. I want to talk about the Constitution, but I want to tell you what happened to me and my wife at Kamloops one time. We went in for, I had a pickup and a camper, and a tire went bad, so I went and bought a new tire, okay? And while they were fixing the tire, we went to a restaurant there on the hill, and this waitress, she came in and asked us what we wanted, and she always said, A. And I says, how come you say A? She never answered me. Took her order, went back to the and give her order to the cook, and then she brought our dinner out. And I says, well, you never answered my question. She says, well, how come you Americans always say huh? So that answered it real quick for me. But that was just a little something. I want to talk about the federal Constitution, Article 4 and Article 9. Now, this here has got a lot of things to say about our Supreme Court of the United States. It really does, if you think about it. Okay, I'm going to read Article 4, and I'm going to read Article 9. And maybe we can talk about them, Tom and Shane. It says, the right of the people to be secure in their persons. I mean, they can't do nothing to you. Houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and persons or things to be seized. Now, I'm going to read you Article 9. Now, this here pertains to the Supreme Court again. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Now, I'm relating these, what I just said about abortion. It says here in these two in Article 4 and Article 9, that the people, women or whomever, mostly women, and of course nowadays you don't know what's coming on about men or. But anyway.
Go ahead. You're
what
on.
What it says is that woman or them is completely in control of her body. The United States Supreme Court has no right to tell a woman whether she can or cannot have an abortion. And Article 9 of the 10 Amendments says that is so, and the government can't construe it to one way or the other. Now, I'm not for abortion, don't get me wrong. But the question is this: are we going to live by our Constitution, or are we going to circumvent it so much that it's pretty soon going to be plumb out of date? People are going to do whatever they want, and to hell with the Constitution. Is that what's going to happen?
Well, all the Supreme Court did was send it back to the people, not for government to make that ruling one way or another. The states should make that ruling for the people who live within their borders.
Well, the states have no right to do it.
Why not?
The Fourth Amendment says so.
Well, the Fourth Amendment...
No. You're not listening. That the Supreme Court
they send
overruled.
it back to the states. Let the states decide whether you can or cannot have an abortion. The federal Constitution says you cannot do that. And Article 9 confirms it.
It also says that things in the Constitution that are delegated to the government are to the government, and those to the states are delegated to the states.
That's right. Mm-hmm. But you can't supersede the Fourth and Ninth Amendment. You can do anything else you want, but you can, if you've read the minutes.
Well, if you're saying that, then I can go out and rob banks. It doesn't say anything in there that I can't rob a bank.
That's right. But it says the persons to be secure in itself. Mm-hmm. But if you read Madison's notes that he took in the Constitutional Convention, you will know that what I'm saying is absolutely right.
Look, you're missing the point. We're agreeing with you. All we're saying is on a federal level, the U.S. government has nothing to do with abortion. And that the Ninth Amendment, we're agreeing with you. But we're also just telling you that in that decision, they sent it back. Mm-hmm. Okay. They didn't say abortion was illegal. They said they can't decide because of 9. So they sent it back
right.
to
It
the state.
Says to be secure.
Yeah, but you're not listening. You have to listen. The Supreme Court did not say abortion was illegal. They said under the 9th Amendment they can't decide. So when the Supreme Court has that situation, they send it back to the states to decide themselves. That's all Tom's telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, but the states cannot override the federal Constitution.
The Supreme Court gave them the right to do that.
No, the Constitution doesn't give the states the right to override the 10 Amendments. There's no way in hell. Read the notes that Madison wrote in the Constitutional Convention. You'll find out that I'm right.
Okay.
And David McCullough.
We've already said you're right. We're not arguing with you.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is they make this big to-do over abortion, and the Republicans, of course, and I'm kind of a Republican, and I'm kind of a Democrat. I'm really an independent, and I don't believe in it either. But are we going to be regulated by our Constitution or not? Basically,
well, we're not. I mean, that's obvious. This government threw the Constitution out the window a long time ago.
I know it. The First Amendment's going out the window.
Yeah.
They're trying their damnedest to get rid of the Second Amendment,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're working on the Fourth Amendment for the people and the abortion issue and everything else. And so, really, what I'm saying is our Constitution, I can read it all day long, and it don't mean a damn thing anymore.
Well, there you go.
Well, I just want to make an observation here. They didn't succeed with what you're saying with abortion and the Constitution. So that didn't work, and they tried for 40 years, since 72, right?
Yeah.
So now what they're trying to use is the minority claims of transgender to do it. So, unless someone stops this foolishness, you're going to go through another 30 years of less than 1% minority in your country claiming some ridiculous rights, where you just give them the rights and say, whatever you want to do, you do amongst yourselves. You want to be in sports and have transgender teams and sports and everything. But, that's just what's going on. It's just another arrow by the Democrats at your Constitution to, try and change it.
I will say this here, and to prove whatever I'm saying, that the courts try to interpret words of the various different things. And
they always do, though, Clint. That's what they're always doing.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
You weren't very happy, as I remember, with Citizens United and, those
That's
other,
right.
eminent domain. I mean, we can go back to the Supreme Court being wrong on a lot of things.
They are. Well, here's what the interpretation of words. When the federal Constitution was written in Philadelphia, they had two dictionaries there. That the interpretation of the words would come from these two dictionaries. Do you guys know what two dictionaries they were?
Black, one of them.
Nope. It was Sam Johnson's dictionaries. Sam Johnson wrote them in 1755 in a bridge 54 and the bridge version in 1755. And the interpretation of all the words in the federal Constitution is in them dictionaries, and I happen to have those dictionaries. I paid a lot of money for them, but I got them. And what it says in there, our Supreme Court does it, other courts do it, judges do it. The interpretation, they go by Black's Law, the 1848 Black's Webster's dictionary, and they go a lot by Black's Law, and that's all crap. They want to read Madison's notes, and then you will see. And now David McCullough come right out and said, he's dead now, he died a few years ago, and I was a big fan of his, but he said it as well as I did, the Constitution interpretation of the words were Sam Johnson's dictionary. And that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say that woman has every right to do what she wants with her own body. And I know when you have an abortion, I don't like it. Nobody likes it. But it's not in the Constitution to where she can't. So that's all I got to say.
Thanks for the call, man. All
you
right.
bet.
10th Amendment says the power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, or reserved to the states, respectively, or to the people. So there you are.
Well, again, the majority of these issues are not referenced in the Supreme Court. That's why you have a court system to make that determination.
Yeah, they ruled on it. They didn't rule on abortion. They ruled on the validity of Roe versus Wade.
So that's right. Like last night, they made a Friday decision at their meeting, because they always make decisions on Fridays and then redistribute new cases. And the Chief Justice appoints people to write opinions. And yesterday they upheld the federal judge in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
or they overruled the federal judge in Texas about this medication that women can take for abortion.
Yeah, they after
And
morning after pill.
and they
Mm-hmm.
deferred it because they know they have one coming before them, an actual case
Yep.
that's taken 7 years to get there and
Mhm.
$25 million.
There you
And they'll decide at that time on this case. So,
All right. Let's take another call. 406-522-TALK is the number. 406-522-8255. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, Tom and Shane. This is Steve.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, what would you guys say about a country that practices all 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto?
That'd be America.
That's correct. You win the prize.
Glad we got that settled, Steve.
I think that's what we fought the revolution over.
Yeah.
If I read. And
take our guns, take our education, take our medical control, take control of our bodies and our minds, and we'll be serfs forever.
But yeah, I mean, remember they also fought over the 10 Commandments in your Revolutionary War.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, we can't have that either.
No, religion's out the window. No thanks.
Yeah,
no, get it out of schools.
They wanted free religion.
Yeah, get it out everywhere.
You know how you cook a live frog, don't you?
Absolutely.
Slowly. I like mine. Actually, I like mine fried. I like fried legs.
Yeah. The frog legs are pretty good.
Well, that's too fast.
Yeah, I know.
But when you're talking about people, it works really well because you put them in a pot of warm water and slowly heat them up, send them to their public food system. And then they come out of there and they think they know everything because that's what they learned in their public school system, which is the 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto.
Yeah.
And I don't know how all this is going to get straightened out, but Trump was trying for 4 years.
Yeah.
And of course, they could not allow him to win in the last election. So the next one's going to be really interesting. I don't know whether we're going to have to go through this or not, but there's 5 prophecies that talk about this time. George Washington was out praying on his knees, and he saw that we had gone on and settled across the country, and he sees the lights that went on to the West Coast. But then he sees this red mist that comes in and puts out all the lights. Well, I think we're just about there. And then General McClellan's vision, and before the Battle of Bull Run in the Civil War, saw the same thing. And the Civil War, actually, the bankers wanted to take over the country then. But from my study, the Russian Tsar saved our ass. Because he went to the Rothschilds and said, "You lay off America, I'm going to come kick your ass." And so he could have done it because he had the largest military in the world at the time. So they had to back off for a little while. So then all they did was they came up with World War I, World War II, and all that crap, but they still don't have the guns. And if they take the guns, then you are a slave. And then Biden, which I don't even think he knows what day it is or where he's at the time. But if they take the guns, then you are a slave.
Amen to that. Yeah, I've always said gun control. If you want to control something, control ammunition. That's where the answer is. You know?
And Obama tried that.
Yeah. Let's cut the ammunition. You can only buy 2 shells a week or something like that.
In 2009 and 2010, in that election year, he had major departments, including the IRS and Human Health and Services, buying ammo and putting it warehouses to try and take the ammo away.
Slow it down. Yeah.
you guys see what's happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, they this last week or so, they were talking about how all the ammunition and the guns, people have gone and bought them. I don't know if they've got any ammunition to make them work or not.
Well, there was a shortage for a while. I know that. A couple of years ago, there was a shortage of ammo. So, got to go, Steve. Hey, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. One thing else, I believe in good gun control.
Yeah.
That you should be able to hit the shot with your first shot, or hit your mark with the first shot, and that would be good gun control.
All right, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. All right, appreciate it. Steve's on a roll this morning.
That's a viral comment. Gun control.
Yeah, from our text line.
Your first shot's the only shot. Make it good.
That's right. From our text line, 478-8298. How stupid is Fox? They could have settled before they were forced into discovery. Now, all that is public record and being used in future lawsuits like Smartmatic. And now we know that Tucker hates Trump. Well, once again, I really appreciate people texting in because we can correct them, Shane. We can correct the misinformation. Dominion had to give Fox what they have. Fox didn't have to give Dominion anything. Discovery only goes one way. It goes from the prosecution to the defense. So the defense knows what the prosecution has as evidence and the charges, so that the defense can provide a rigorous defense of the defendant. So Fox didn't give anything to Dominion in public record. Everything Fox has, they have. So the only reason we know Tucker hates Trump is that some of these emails came to light. And even if they, if you think they prove something, hey, more power to you. I'm not gonna say that the Fox News was innocent in this deal.
Well, it was in Delaware, so the judge will make a tentative agreement, or which he has to the settlement, but he'll review it. And what he's reviewing is the non-circumvention and non-disclosure agreement, and whether he wants to seal all of the evidence, because those are the final decisions for a judge to make in a case like this. That's been settled.
Yeah,
I mean that's part of what the judge he has to decide on sealing the evidence and the non-disclosures, non-circumvention agreement, and so that's all we're waiting for.
Yeah, they settled to keep Rupert and all the other liars out of court. Fox admitted to falsehood in their own statements, and yet all will still believe them. Well, if they admitted to fault in their statements, and those statements were made public to the people, why settle?
Wait, back up though. Fox didn't settle. Dominion did.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Fox
saying.
Fox agreed. So this guy's like the first letters he's written you are wrong.
Yeah.
Fox did not settle.
Yeah.
Dominion did.
Yeah.
And Fox agreed. So, and then I just told you the legal procedure that's left. So that's it.
Yep.
Next.
And both of them are under sealed orders because Fox didn't report on it, and Dominion hasn't released any kind of statement on it. So they can't. They won't. They won't.
The judge hasn't finished. The judge has not written his final opinion.
Yeah. You have free speech, but it doesn't give you the right to lie about companies and damage their products. What lies were exactly made?
Okay, this is a good one. I want to make this right and center. Oh, I got to go. Bye.
Well,
I'll make the point after.
Yeah, you'll make the point after the break.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. That's okay.
You're welcome.
We got
I want to go spinning on my chair. Leave me alone.
Well, all I'm saying is watch your clock.
I am. That's what I went and said. I'm out here.
Yeah.
You got 30 seconds to go. Go.
I know. I do. I've got 30 seconds right now to go. So all right. Hey, we're going to talk about a lot of things when we come back. China is dumping our debt right and left. We're going to talk about that when we come back. Also, the Budweiser and the boycotts and everything going on with Budweiser. Twitter and transgenders, they're making news, so we've got a lot to cover here in the next hour and a half on Open for Business with Tom and Shane. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. 27 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Saturday. It's April 22nd, 2023. It's National Earth Day or Earth Mother Earth Day or some stupid day. I don't know. Whatever. Finish your thought, Shane.
About what?
Whatever you were talking about when we left.
Oh, no, it's not that important. What's important is what you're going to say we're talking about, which is China.
Yeah, we got to talk about China because since January 2022, China has reduced its U.S. treasuries held outright from 1.3 trillion to 859 billion, Shane. In January 23rd, a 16.8% decrease in U.S. treasuries, which puts them further behind Japan, which has the most of our debt, I guess I should say.
Yeah. This is my jungle. Let me deal with it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. So right now, so everyone knows, foreign ownership of debt, treasury bills, and so forth of your debt is 7.4 trillion today. Now, that was 7.9 trillion in pre-COVID 2019 October November. We reported back then, at the time, that it was a joke because your politicians were telling you that China owns you, and they don't, because the Fed actually holds more debt than anyone. They hold 6 trillion of your federal debt. So here are the numbers. 2019 October November, China was number one with 1.4 trillion. We took notice of it because these numbers come out from the Treasury every 3 months, and in January we got October, November, December, and they dumped in 2019 in October, November, $400 billion. And then what they did, now this is pre-COVID, this is when it was in China and going to the world. They went out and used that $400 billion to buy up all the medical needs, gloves, masks, and that's what caused that shortage. And then, so they held that position of 1.9 ahead of, or Japan now has the lead on it because they had 2.1. Now, what happened was starting in January of 2022, as Tom pointed out, Japan held 1.3 trillion. They're down to 1.1 trillion. So Japan sold 200 billion. So they've actually sold more than China. China's gone from 1.1 billion or trillion to 850 billion today. So they've divested 100 and basically 250 billion since January of 2022. Look, the point about this is very simple. Number one, what's at issue here is their lack of need for these types of holdings because trade is down so significant. They use this money to trade and have this debt so that they can trade. Number one. Number two, they're trying to use their own currency with others to trade with. So yes, you should expect they will continue to drop what they're purchasing. But the problem that we have as two countries here is that the world has sold off 450 billion of your debt since January 2022. So that means they're not even entirely rolling over what they had. And for the last 2 years, we've been warning you about this, mostly that they've been rolling it over, but now they're starting to sell it. That's your black swan, Thomas. There it is.
Yeah. Well, the UK has upped their purchases. So is Belgium. So is Luxembourg. It's we're not our debt isn't gone, but some of these other countries have said, well, for the investments there, we're going to make it.
The UK is up 50 billion and Belgium is up 70 billion,
but
that has more to do with the euro weakening to the US dollar, so that they were sort of forced to purchase it again because of trade. That's what the strengthening dollar does to people, and so that's a positive, but not enough to fit. And the auction this week, we haven't talked about it, but again, I just want to briefly mention it because we used to talk. I used to talk about it every week, but we haven't talked about it so I'll take 30 seconds for the window to open here. Just to give everybody an update. So the Treasury market this week didn't go well, and I'll just give you two examples. They had 6 instruments that they auctioned this week, and the numbers are the same. Less than a third, between 25 and 30% of anything they've offered was taken up. So it's one of these issues that we keep an eye on because it's a big tell. It's a big tell for the market and your economy and where we're headed. So the weakness in the economy has not strengthened, and what you're being told, by your present administration is just not real. It's you're getting blindsided, so folks, just to let you know.
Yeah. Well, the catalyst appears to have been Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That's when the drawdown began, and only after the invasion did the Federal Reserve begin hiking its interest rates for lending to banks. So amid the war, there was a flight to safety as the dollar temporarily strengthened as investors and financial institutions benefited from the higher yield. So they sold off because they're getting more money for the bond they originally bought. But this still keeps U.S. Treasury rates, the 10 years at 3.4%, and below the consumer inflation rate, that's still 6%. So that's another thing to consider as they go through and divest their interest in these, these treasuries.
Right. And by the way, just to give another update, which we've always done, which is the NICS firearms background check by the FBI, up to March 31st of this year, they're now 451 million, 452 million guns in your country. Yeah. But the purchasing has dropped off, and in 22 was 31.5 million. In 21 it was almost 39 million permits approved for the purchase of guns. So you're running right now the first quarter of this year, January, February, March, basically ahead of 22 as far as gun purchases. So we always have that on our board to check to let you all know that Americans are still arming themselves.
Amen to that, yeah. From our text line, 478-8298, in the military, you are government property, referring to the airman who released the documents online and is being held for that discretion. Let's see.
Well, that's right. And then you have a TV show to watch about, the Navy and how they deal with investigations. So
that's true.
It's very popular, so a lot of people already know. They don't need to be told.
Well, there's Law and Order. There's, there used to be JAG. There's a lot of stuff out there. So that's how Shane and I know so much legal stuff.
That's right.
Is Law and Order and was Boston Legal and stuff like that.
Love that show, Boston.
That's right. That was a great show. Yeah. In Yuma, Arizona, the hospital system is overwhelmed and is going broke with all the illegals. In Bozeman, we've got a lot of illegals here, too. Just wait, and we'll probably go through the same thing. Well, it's entirely possible, I guess. Let's see. The text on Urban Transportation District is inaccurate. Currently, funding is handled by HRDC. When Bozeman population exceeded 50,000, HRDC is no longer eligible to receive funds. The UTD would be a quasi-governmental board to receive funding. The cost of setting up the UTD is zero and is not connected with funding. And that's from Tom. Thanks, Tom, for the information. We appreciate it. And let's see, Bongino. Let's talk about him a little bit, Shane. Only talk radio would spin and claim a record settlement is a win. I don't see it as anything other than a win for Fox. Let's see. According to Kraken lawyer, Dominion is a Venezuelan company. More lies will cost her. What do you think, Shane? Is it a Venezuelan company? You said it was Canadian.
Well, of course, it's it's just one of these things that people want to comment about.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take issue with the comment.
Okay. Shay was about to weave a spin connecting RAM, BlackBerry, and Dominion. He fell short on that. I was afraid he would go there. So, yeah, the BlackBerry backdoor situation.
Yeah, that was a scandal. I mean, nobody uses a BlackBerry anymore. What are you talking about?
Bongino on talk radio better be careful of the lies they tell because they can get sued for $1.5 billion. Probably not KMMS because you're too smart and off the grid. So there you are.
There you are.
Well, I'll tell you, when you talk about the lies, let's talk about that for a second. Turn your sound down when you do that.
Sorry.
There's
Allergies.
yeah, just turn your knob down.
I know, I tried.
Okay. When we talk about lies, one of the things Fox did is report what Trump said. And that's not a lie. If you're reporting what somebody says,
the Wall Street Journal, and in
all
Washington,
those. They all reported the same thing. Yeah. Denise D'Souza and his 1,000 Mules, they reported on that. And, so if those are lies in your camp, then, I can't help you. It's just been reported. They were reporting what people were saying. Now,
just remember, in this transgender age, camp is something we would use. So
yeah,
for the woke people, it's a bubble.
Okay. Well, in any way, I'm glad you laughed at that.
See, that was
I'm glad you laughed at that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have to do that now. So
yeah. Well, there's a big difference between reporting what people say and a lie. I don't remember Tucker Carlson coming online and saying, you know what? The election was rigged. Trump won. No doubt about it. We can prove it. I never heard that from any. I never heard it from Carlson. I never heard it from Hannity. Never heard it from Ingram. Never heard it from Shapiro, Mark Levin, any of these people.
I don't know about Mark Levin. I know he has said that.
Okay. Well, they should have sued him then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. China's dumping our debt. China makes a deal with OPEC. China expands their draft. Xi Jinping said in a speech China is preparing for war. OPEC reduces oil supply shortly after our reserves are depleted. Am I wrong in thinking we are already at war with China? Well, in some ways we are, certainly.
I don't know. I saw a picture yesterday, from some general wanting to increase, the budget for your defense department of this high-speed drone that the Chinese, claim they have.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, I'm sorry, it looks just like American technology and what they already have. And, all the bombers they built that are flat-winged, or, the wing bombers that are invisible, they're flying them on and off carriers, invisible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't think that the Chinese have a faster missile than the U.S. They'll plead, oh, well, they have advanced technology. No, they just want more money to spend. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't buy it, Thomas.
Yeah.
You may, I don't.
Well, it's been reported that the Taiwan Air Force, only about half of the Air Force would be effective against China if an air war developed over there.
Yeah, of course they want to build more planes, and they want,
Well,
look, we all know history has proven it. To win a war, you need boots on the ground, and I'm sorry. Again, play the game of risk. China doesn't meet that requirement. Just not going to happen. It's not. There's no benefit.
Well, China would have the chip manufacturers taken care of, and I believe China could take Taiwan in probably 2 days.
Yeah, sure.
They bomb the airports, which would keep the
but put in.
They want Taiwan to be part of China.
Oh, come on. For what reason? What benefit do they get? I mean,
They
what's
get
the
the benefit of having another monetary tax base to fund China.
Okay.
Why do you think Putin wants Ukraine? He wants the old Soviet Union back. That's why he wants Ukraine.
He wants to stay. He wants to stay in power. So
well, sure. So does Xi.
That's right. But
Well,
he doesn't need Taiwan to stay in power. He's already got total control.
Well, he doesn't do it to stay in power. It's an insult to him. It's a weakness to him that Taiwan is not part of China. That's a weakness in his world.
Nice propaganda. You bought it.
Well, I do.
Yeah, you just said nice propaganda.
I think he'll go after it. I think he's going to take on. I think he's going to take on China Taiwan before Biden is out of office, because he knows Biden's not going to do anything about it.
Well, that's right. He has to, and that's why he dumped those bank records of Biden and his family's accounts in China.
You know, that was like,
yeah, that's the little stick. Okay, here comes the big stick if you do something, right? I mean, yeah, of course, we've already talked about that.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess at 10 o'clock I'll have to do the 10 Trump policies, because I forgot again to do it at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I'll do it in the 10 o'clock hour. Thanks for reminding me. We got so excited here with all the things we're talking about that. Who are these people overdosing on fentanyl? Are they drug users? Maybe we have a drug problem that we should address before worrying about supply. We should look at demand. Did you hear inflation is down to 5%? Let's go, Brandon. Well, it's 5% unless you're buying gas or food.
Yeah, and the other comment is an insult to the families that have lost people. 40% are young people in rural areas that, didn't know or wrongly took, out drinking beer with the boys or whatever, or at a party and got burnt. And so, yeah, it's a bad outreach. And you're right about the inflation. Inflation is still 15 to 18%. It hasn't changed.
Yeah. All right. Gay says you can't buy primers, none in stores. You forgot the 10 Trump things. I'm glad people like the 10 Trump things, I guess. I didn't know if that would go over or not. But
is she talking about primers for flintlock rifles?
I think so, yeah. The left despises Fox because the network has a greater tendency to be open and truthful. Libs will do whatever it takes to quash an opposing point of view, and I would agree with that. Silence.
Including lying.
Yeah, silence. Yeah.
Silence is an affirmation.
Yeah. Control the primers, not ammo. Yeah. Yeah, you... if you buy a gun, you should have a 2-year waiting period for the primer.
That's right.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, geez.
Got to wrap that steel ball with something, buddy.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Phone's flipping around. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Oh, just getting ready to go have some breakfast. I get in my 2 cents worth.
All right.
So, yeah, I mean, you have some people calling in, gloating about, the Fox settlement with Dominion and whatnot. Well, I quite frankly don't care. I mean, Fox just hammers every other network with, listeners and watchers year after year. But there's a few things, and then people say, they're lying about this, lying about that. Well, I personally have been subjected, like the whole country, for 7 years with just unbelievable lies with, the decadent mainstream media, Russian hoax and this and Trump was this and Russian hoax, right? And, it was just, they knew it was all lies, but they continued it and perpetuated it and it's still going on. But there's a few bad things happening, of course, like every day. And, one thing is people kind of probably flies under the smoke screen, but now I'm hearing, they're pushing these electric cars and whatnot, but, and they're not going to put AM radios in them. So
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't think about that, but conservative talk shows like you guys and whatnot, Dan Bongino and Mark Levin, that's a good way to, crush conservative talk radio. No more AM radios and electric cars.
Yeah, yeah.
And quite frankly, unless they drag me screaming and crying and bleating, I will never own an electric car. But, I just don't want to be stranded up Bear Creek with electric car in a foot of snow. You know what I'm saying?
That's for sure. Yeah. Well, you can also get us on 95.1 FM. So we're also on 95.1 FM. So.
And on your cell phone, I think most people use their cell phone.
A lot do. A lot of folks use their cell phone.
From my daughter does. She got a music list.
You can just add that to the other list of, they're coming for your gasoline cars, and they're coming for your guns and your ammunition. They're coming for your kids, and they're coming for your gas stoves. And now they're coming for your AM radio.
Mm-hmm. And people still vote for them. I mean, that's what amazes me. Doesn't that amaze you?
It is breathtaking how stupid people are, but
it is. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It's hard for me to believe as well. So, all right. Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Go have a great breakfast.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make your coffee a double-double.
Yeah. Tell them to send the bill to Shane. That'll work. Yeah. All right. Well, we're getting up here to the top of the hour, Shane. So I think it's top of the hour, isn't it? Yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock. So
your show, buddy.
Yeah, that's right. Doggone it. Well, we'll get a couple text lines in here, and then when we come back, we'll do the really dumb, those Trump things.
Oh, right.
I should say, the things that I read about Trump, they're not accomplishments. All they are is things that he did on that day when he was in office. And we're in 2017 right now, May or June. And all I'm doing is reporting what he did during that month. It's not good, not bad, not accomplishments. He doesn't deserve a pat on the back for each one. So what can I tell you, huh? So there you go.
What a tease, boy. You're
from our text line, 478-8298, most of us reload rifles, pistol, and shotgun shells. They all need primer, hard to get now. There you are. So if you're loading your own, the gunpowder primer may be an issue. So well, there you are. Let's see. I should say Taiwan would be a huge revenue source for China. Taiwan is a huge revenue source, and 10 things Trump did we don't know about. I'm going to get to it. And don't our tax dollars pay for HRDC? Yes, they do. They do pay for that. So.
Well, but you got two problems. Number one, the destruction that would be required to do that, and number two, everyone in Taiwan would end up in a camp of some kind.
Yeah.
So what you haven't destroyed has to be rebuilt, and what may be left, you don't have anyone to operate it. So again, what's the benefit? If it's not an economic benefit. Let's be honest.
All right. Caller, Shane, we got a caller waiting on the line. If you could talk to them while we're gone, we'll take care of that. And that's going to wrap it up for this segment. When we come back, 10 Trump policies you don't know about, right after the news. Stay tuned. 7 minutes after the hour of 10 a.m. Mountain Time. It's Saturday, April 22nd, 2023, 31 degrees outside and cloudy. We're looking for a high up around, we're already at the high for the day, Shane. So I guess
there you go.
It's not
so Willie from Paradise is going to call back after you do your list of 10.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, let's get that out of the way, and then we'll get to the... every week we've been doing 10 Trump actions, not necessarily accomplishments. They're just things that happened during his administration by the day. And we're in July of 2017. Law enforcement in July, federal gun crime prosecutions by the DOJ in the preceding 3 months averaged 23% over the same period in 2016. And as we know, Shane, the president is the chief law enforcement officer, one of his 5 jobs.
That's right.
Government reform. Trump signed an executive order in July implementing tough new lobbying standards for political appointees, including a 5-year ban on lobbying and a lifetime ban on lobbying for foreign countries. Government reform. Trump created the Office of American Innovation in July to streamline and improve the government for future generations.
By the way, just real quick, the one about lobbying, the Democrats went around that executive order and incorporated a new law of registration to get around it. So
yeah, they did.
So everyone knows. So,
yeah, I think it was one of the ones that Biden got rid of the first day of office. So got to have lobbying.
No. In 2017, the Democrats, or 18, they controlled the House and the Senate, so they enacted a new law about registration, which he signed. Yeah. He did sign.
Okay. Let's see. Islamic Jihad. After months of heavy fighting, Iraqi coalition forces finally pushed ISIS fighters out of Mosul in early July. The U.S. is also supporting efforts to rid the Philippines of ISIS cells. Disarming jihad, I should say. In July, the Trump administration ended a CIA program to arm moderate Syrian rebels after previous efforts of its kind were shown to have aided Islamic jihadists, including the terrorists who carried out the disastrous Benghazi attack in which 4 Americans, including the ambassador, were killed. And we remember that with Hillary Clinton's administration, or her as Secretary of State, I should say.
And both of those were controversial. The one in the Philippines was because the new president there was very far right, and he was actively going out and hunting down drug sellers and terminating them on the street. So that's one of the reasons he did that. And the second one you're referring to, that sort of contrasted his effort to wipe out ISIS. So that's why he did that.
Made in the USA. Trump has convinced companies such as Ford, Chrysler, Carrier Air Conditioners to manufacture and build plants in the United States. At the White House, Corning announced with the president it was investing $500 million in new U.S. Production, creating 1,000 new jobs. Foxconn, the world's largest contract electronics manufacturer, which makes the iPhone, announced in July it was investing $10 billion in Wisconsin to build a factory that will employ 3,000 workers directly and up to 22,000 workers indirectly. Coal power. In July, President Trump kept his campaign promise to coal miners and rolled back the previous administration's stream protection rule, which targeted the industry with estimated costs of at least $81 million per year. Oil drilling on federal lands. In July, Trump signed an order boosting oil and gas development on federal lands. Unemployment, the jobless rate decreased to 4.8%, or from 4.8% to 4.4% from January through June of 2017. In contrast, during the first 6 months of 2009, Obama's first year in office, the rate increased from 7.8 to 9.5.
Now, that one executive order referencing the oil industry, as a result of that single executive order within a year, you're oil dominant. You are producing more oil and gas than anyone else in the world.
Yep, there we go. A gross domestic product, GDP in the second quarter of the year increased by 2.6%, more than doubling the first quarter performance, well short of 4 and 5% that Trump predicted, but still an increase, Shane, and that's the 10.
And let's be reminded the GDP for last year was 1.4.
Yeah.
And the Federal Reserve is reporting for this year 1.2 and maybe less next year. So it's fallen off big time.
They say Bongino will be sued next. Talk radio lies as much as Fox. Vietnam draft guys ended up in Kamloops. Others just had her daddy pay for doctor to write a note they had sore feet. We learned about Tucker email from Discovery. No, you didn't. You didn't learn about that from Discovery. Give me a break. they weren't even in trial yet. Jeez. Dominion had 7,000 pieces of evidence. Well, if they did, Fox has them now. Wrong. The inflation rate is down to 5%. Only if you don't buy gas or food.
That's right.
And the iPhone killed the BlackBerry. No question about that. I think that's pretty evident that happened, Shane. So, not many BlackBerries running around anymore.
Yeah, but that's because they gave up access to their encryption.
That was not good. So,
I mean, remember Apple? You know, they had that shooting or murder in California, and the FBI wanted access to Apple's encryption to open the guy's phone, and Apple said no, went to court and won. They didn't have to give it up.
All right. Let's see if we can get a call in here. Nope.
It should be Willie.
Yeah. Well,
Willie's trying to get back.
Well, I'm waiting for it to flip back around to where I can answer it. So keep let it ring. It'll be there.
Keep trying, Willie.
Yeah. Just keep letting it ring. I'll get to it. Has to flip around to one of the lines I can answer. So, all right. Well, he may have given up. So try again. From our text line, 478-8298, Shane, the eternal optimist. Shane is such an optimist. He says, boots on the ground, but yet he believes in flying cars. If there's flying cars, and they will be flying drones that can wipe out entire Army battalions. And I would have to agree with that. I think drones and missiles would take out Taiwan in a couple of days. All right. Let's see. See if we can find something intelligent here. Tom, one thing you might mention about Trump is that before he became president, he built incredible skyscraper golf courses, employed thousands of people with good-paying jobs. Yeah, he did. There you are. So I think we've got our caller, Shane. I think right. I think he finally jocketed around to the right spot. So let's see if he's there. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. Thanks for trying so hard.
Hey guys, here's an interesting one. As we listen to all these liberals on there, and the thing is, they got the facts on Hunter with the laptop, and he even signed off on buying a gun and that, and the dope and everything. But the one thing that you can take to the bank is you can take a liberal by the back of the neck and rub their nose in a fresh pile of dog manure and pull it back up, their head back up, and they still can't smell it. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Sounds good to me.
Well, yeah, but your Attorney General's office announced tonight that they're considering 5 charges against him. So we're getting close.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Dems pipeline from Memphis to Big Sky with Hispanic contractors and illegal workers. All right. Don't know about that pipeline, so maybe somebody can fill us in. Dems don't care about the environment. It is about control only. We do not share oxygen with China that is building more coal plants and their own economy and building EV batteries. So there you go, Shane. Yeah, we're going to be under Chinese control with flying vehicles and our cars and everything else over there. So.
Well, I guess it's fair to say that the amount of plumage that the Chinese plants are producing, in the northern hemisphere, it circulates eastward. So all that is heading north to the North Pole, and the result is nice cold winters. The North Pole in the winter covers 4 million square miles of ice. And this year, the NASA reported it was the deepest cover, up to almost 10 feet. And by, fall, about 2 to 2.5 million square miles melts. But, it refreezes every year. So, you can expect more cold winters because of all these plumes from China. There you go.
Yeah. Well, as long as we're on electric cars, Shane, the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray is the first hybrid version.
Story, You love this story.
I love this story. The sports car, it isn't built for fuel efficiency, just speed.
Yeah, there you go.
This baby has about 600 or 700 horsepower. It goes from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. And it doesn't.
Tom wants to feel his heart. So
That's right. I was always I built my own cars back in the 60s, and I was a drag racer of the highest caliber. There isn't a plug. The E-Ray is a mild hybrid. Charges the 1.9 kilowatt battery pack running down the middle of the car with excess energy recovered from the engine and the braking system. So. And it's let's see, it's
so it's self-charging like a Rolex watch.
Yeah, it is. It's self-charging. Yeah, so there you go. Electric motor adds 120 kilowatts, which is 160 horsepower to the V8's 495 horsepower. So it's about 600 or 700 horsepower there, which is pretty good. And it's four-wheel drive as well. So take it off. You're not spinning just the back wheels. You're spinning all four of those babies. And as I said, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, covers a quarter mile in 10.5 seconds, Shane.
Or put wings on it, it'll fly. It
would fly, no question about it. Yeah, you could take that baby off. So, well, anyway, the first one off the line was sold on auction, and $1.1 million paid out for that bad boy.
That's a collector.
That is a collector. That's for sure.
That's the Tonight Show host.
Yeah,
that's about that.
Yeah, it was. The selling price on this thing's around $104,000, $104,295 actually. But it was offered at a Barrett Jackson Palm Beach auction, where it was purchased for $1.1 million, 10 times the price. And proceeds go to Donors Choose Charity, which helps buy supplies and projects and materials for schools. So,
and they need that. I mean, your Department of Education spends $1 trillion. And that's great. I like that.
Well, the 1969 Chevrolet Corvette was auctioned for $3.14 million. Maybe Dominion should have bought that. They'd be ahead of the game there. So, the buyer was Rick Hendrick, a NASCAR team owner, got big bucks, as has been the high bidder in many GM charity auctions. So, last year he was the one that bought the first mid-engine Corvette, the Z06, to support Operation Homefront. So we like cars here. So, go for it.
Okay.
So did you ever have a hot car, Shane, in your lifetime?
My first car, a Mustang.
Oh, wow. There you go. All right.
189 horse, 3-speed.
Yeah. All right.
Rebuilt that car constantly.
Sounds good to me. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the Biden campaign under fire. Former CIA official testified that then Biden campaign senior advisor, now Secretary of State Antony Blinken, played a role in the inception of the public document signed by current and past intelligence officials that claim the Hunter Biden laptop was part of a Russian disinformation campaign. 51 signed this letter, I guess, Shane, of intelligence people all over wherever the hell they were. So,
and Congressman Jordan from Ohio, head of the Intelligence Committee in the U.S. Congress, sent Blinken a letter requesting all the documentation and information regarding that letter that he created, which we now know he created.
Yeah. And
he has till May 5th to turn it over to the Congress. We'll see if he does.
Yeah. Yeah, in October 2020, weeks before the presidential election, dozens of ex-national security officials, ex-one, Shane, not in the thing currently. They signed on to a letter claiming Hunter's laptop had all of the classic characteristics, Shane, not some of them, not half, not 3/4, all of the earmarks of a Russian information operation. So,
problem is twofold. Number one, number of these people that signed it have lied in front of Congress. And number two, they get hold of the computer to know.
I know.
How did they find that out? If they, no one, I mean, the FBI's had it, and they haven't given any of it up.
Yeah, unless they went down to the New York Post and got it. So I'm glad this thing is in more than one place besides the FBI.
Apparently, these 51 people went to a skiff, and took a look at it. I don't know. Who knows?
Apparently so. Yeah. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Call, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, finally get to talk to you guys again. It's been a long time.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, somehow I just never seem to get on Saturday with you guys anymore. I miss you on the weekdays.
Well, me too.
I got a question for you. You guys will be the ones that would know this. I keep seeing these long trains of electric vehicle fuel going through Belgrade. It's called coal trains.
Right.
And where is that coal coming from, and where's it going?
Well, there's several coal facilities in Montana. It's one of our treasure states. I think there's, I think Butte and Missoula would be the ones I would think would be the most likely, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know that for sure. Yeah.
Well, but where are they? But where's the coal actually ending up? Where's it going?
Well, a lot of it goes to China, and a lot of it goes here. We use it domestically, but some of it does go to China, no question.
Well, okay, I kind of figured that as well, but I guess what I'm trying to figure out is exactly where do those coal trains end up? Are they going to a port in Washington State and then offloaded into a ship heading to China, or are they being burned maybe somewhere else in the U.S., like in Washington?
Yeah.
I think there may be coal plants, maybe still operating over there. I'd be suspicious of that, but
yeah,
I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out is I keep seeing all these coal trains going through, and I keep asking myself, what the hell are we doing here? We're stopping all of the coal production for power plant burning here, and if those coal trains are heading to China so they can burn coal, well, what a crazy upside down world we live in.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Well, if the trains are heading west, then most likely that it's going to China or India. But if the trains are heading east, there still are a number of coal plants, particularly in the Midwest, in Indiana, Maryland, Minnesota, North Dakota.
Are all heading west. These are all heading west.
Yeah.
Well, if they're heading west, they're going to the coast to be shipped to India or China. But Iowa, Nebraska, you asked, Illinois, North Carolina, Michigan, Florida, Louisiana, and I can go on, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Utah, Georgia.
Yeah, sure.
And, they all have coal plants still.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's 224 operational coal plants still left in your country.
Roughly 25% of the coal produced in Montana is used locally to generate electrical power. The remaining 75% is shipped overseas and to coal-fired power plants in the Midwest. So that's the
you're right.
That's the best information I have so far, anyway. So
yeah,
I can give you at the moment.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So if let's assume that. In fact, I'm pretty sure that is the case. I don't think you need to assume it. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Then if burning coal is such a damn badass idea here in the U.S. because of CO2 production, and we're saying, well, we've got to be able to export it in order to get the revenue from it for some crazy reason, then do we put an export tariff, if there is such a thing, on the export of coal?
To my knowledge, there's no tariff on coal, as far as I know.
No, it's important, that there's over 2,400 coal-powered or coal-fired electrical power plants around the world. So you have less than 10%. And as Tom told you, 23% of it produces electricity. That and the 32% from natural gas to combine, it's like 55% of the electricity in your country are sourced by two things, gas and coal. And then, you go down the list and there's smaller ones.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is the trillions you've spent on solar panels. Do you know how much electricity it contributes to your grid? Guess.
A lot.
For solar? Oh, it's a single-digit number, I think.
Right, 1.8%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
right.
all.
Very low
That's
number.
it. You've spent
Right.
trillions over the last 30 years, and it's produced 1.8% to the grid. It's a joke. It's a laugh out loud joke. Worst part is the shelf life of solar panels are 20 years. So every panel that's been built has to be replaced before you set up new ones.
Yeah. And it also, all the land has to be cleared of every living varmint on it.
That's right.
So, so where's PETA when you need them? And
you haven't put solar panels on your roof yet?
No, not yet.
Waste of money.
You mean so they could be covered with snow half the year?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, from one of our
clouds.
Yeah, one of our texters has weighed in. Much of Montana coal going west ends up in Valmy, Nevada power plant that transmits power further west to Reno. That's from Paul from our text line. So that may help it out a little bit too. So, all right, I got to go. I'm up against the clock. Thanks so much for calling back in again. I hope we'll hear from you in the future.
Nice radio voice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah. I need his voice, don't I, Shane?
No, you have a luscious voice.
I have
already.
the luscious voice.
You won the award.
All right.
I got to go. You got 27 seconds.
I know. I do. Glad you're watching. All right. We will be back. More of this will continue, like it or not, right after the news at the bottom of the hour. Stay tuned. A lot more Tom and Shane to come. 27 minutes before the top of the hour, our final segment of Open for Business with Tom and Shane. Tom Eagle after your morning mayor. Shane and Tom and half man, half amazing in Canada. In witness protection up there. And we're happy to have him with us every Saturday.
So I want to just reiterate, U.S. Energy Information Administration, the EIA, it's a website you can go to and it'll give you all these numbers. But I would refer to total solar production of your grid is 3.4, but of that, photovoltaic, which is solar cells, is about 1.8. The rest is solar thermal and other types of solar. Biomass produces 1.3. That's wood and landfill gas. I mean, it's rather strange, but anyway, the nuclear is 18%, and as we know, one of the best, the best is geothermal, but it's down to like less than 1% geothermal, and then the hydro, of course, that's a big one, 6.2%. So dams in your country that were built over the last 100 years produce more power than all the solar attempt that you've created in 30 years and spent trillions on. Too bad.
Yeah, there you go.
Should have built more dams.
All right. Regarding our report on the Chevrolet Corvette, the Tesla goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Put your heart in your throat. If you read the totally and completely discredited Mueller report instead of depending on someone else, you would know Russia was helping Trump. The laptop would fit their efforts. Yeah, if the Mueller report hadn't been completally debunked.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And it came out, way before. I think they came out. Oh, whatever.
Amen to that. Yeah.
2 years before the Biden laptop rebel. I love these people.
There you go.
Well, you just keep voting the way you are and enjoy the economy you end up with. That's all I can tell
enjoy
you.
that. Enjoy gas prices went up.
That's right.
15 cents in the last week, I guess. Let's go, Brandon. There's a coal mine on the Crow Reservation for one, and it seems to me that the eco-freaks should prefer using coal here with our emission regulations as opposed to sending coal overseas where no regulations exist.
Bingo. The U.S., because of the Environmental Protection Agency, created by Nixon, because Trudeau was complaining about the acid rain from your coal burning facilities and those plumes going into Canada.
Yeah.
So, the bottom line here is the technology that the Environmental Protection Agency forced industry to create is the cleanest in the world. But guess what? Neither India or China will, pay for that technology to be used in either of their countries.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
Yeah. The Mueller report has not been discredited. How can you lie? What evidence? It's been discredited. Well, almost every news agency you can think of has condemned it.
Yep, including the Democrats.
Yeah. Why do you lie, Tom? Why won't you read the report?
How it didn't come out with anything against Trump.
I was going to say, why won't you read the report? How do you know that I haven't read the report? So.
Well, I did.
I know you did.
It had nothing in it. So.
Well, and all you had to do was look at Mueller's testimony. I mean, he was clueless about what was in it.
Hey, the guy that sent that email's happy because they spent $42 million of his dollars to produce it. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. No news agency has discredited the Mueller report. Well, do a search. Just do a search for Mueller report discredited, and you'll be happy. Fox is not a news agency. They paid $787 million for lying. I would say they paid. Oh,
the name is Fox News, but it's not a news agency.
Yeah, it's not a news agency. Yeah,
it's a comment. Sorry,
it's a lying agency. I don't know.
A good humor today, there, buddy.
Yeah, we're having a good time here. Oh boy, I don't know. I don't know why that Mueller report keeps coming up.
It's just it's a woke response, right?
Yeah. All right, NPR, Mueller report finds no evidence of Russian collusion. American Bar Association, Mueller finds no conclusion with Russia. Politico, previously secret alternative Mueller report goes public. Mueller report breaks down the biggest myths, Time magazine. Fact check, Mueller report. Discredited Steele dossier. Well, it's a different thing. Of course.
There you go. You got it. Yeah. No more. Let's go. Move on.
Right. So all you got to do is put it in. There's hundreds from AP even Trump bar distort whatever. So there's plenty of controversy between the two. So there you go. So we're not going to deal with it. So we'll let the callers do their own walking through the yellow pages.
That's right.
Yeah. Dominion's taking some of the money Fox paid them to buy NASCAR ads that say Trump lied to their audience. Oh, God. Well, I hope so.
Great.
Yeah.
That helps. That just helps Trump.
I was going to say, yeah. See, the issue is, and what these guys that don't like Fox News, because Fox News is a threat to what they believe. You've got NPR, PBS, CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, CNBC, and CNN, and the New York Times, and the Los Angeles Times, and the Atlanta Constitution, and the Dallas Morning News, St. Louis Post-Dispatch. All of these are liberal outlets.
Well, another way of looking at it is 35% of people watching the media watch Fox. Okay, so there's your conservative base. That's the spokespeople for them to inform their base. What's the other 70 or less than 70%? That's the woke support, and it's the entire media. It's all as Tom has pointed out. I don't need to go through the list, but you're talking about 8, 10 different outlets in modern time, 21st century, social media, to networks, to cable, that speak for the woke, and Fox is the only spokesman for the what? Right. That's it. Yeah. There's no arguing that.
Every hour of every day, they dominate the news and have forever. If you want to package CNN, MSNBC, NPR, and all these other networks together, they would have more viewers totally between all of them, maybe, than Fox News might.
Oh, yeah, that's what I just said. But you have to include all the newspapers and and local news stations and everything else. So
Well, the other thing is, if you're so intelligent about what Fox does, you must watch it religiously. I mean, 24/7. You must be there all the time. I mean,
don't have time. I got to listen to the other stuff just to keep up for the shows we do.
I know.
Can't live in a bubble, buddy, and do this.
Nothing in Miss Mueller is discredited. It's all true. Read it. Yeah. I don't know what I can do. I just led you to a whole bunch of places where by quality networks or whatever. Well, your networks, actually. So you're okay with
if they have the ability to send you an email, they can go and look themselves. So, don't keep sending Tom things or comments that you can look up yourself before you send it.
Yeah, it's like the Discovery thing, I mean, now you think Dominion has all the things that Fox had? They don't. Fox has the 7,000 things Dominion had.
That's right.
That's all. So you're okay with a giant network lying to viewers? I don't recall any lies. I record them. I remember them reporting other people lying about the election.
Oh, and by the way, can we remind people, because again, clearly, all right, in a settlement like this, both sides agree to a non-disclosure, non-circumvention agreement, and both sides agree to no admission of guilt. So quit saying that Fox lied. They didn't admit to that then, and Dominion accepted they didn't lie. All right. Now, the lawyer can go out and say they lied. That's on him. But in the agreement, it's not there.
Sure. No wonder Tom thinks Discovery didn't uncover the text from Fox. He doesn't watch other views. Of course I do. Tom, how do we learn about Fox texts and emails if not from Discovery? Well, you learned about them from leaks from people at Fox. That's where you learned about them. It wasn't Discovery. Leakers at Fox leaked the Trump hate, or Carlson hates Trump, and whatever Hannity said and whatever these other guys said. That was all leaked information from Fox. That wasn't anything from Discovery in the trial or anything. So, let's see. Tom, you need to go back to law school. Discovery goes both ways. Well, maybe so. I certainly am unaware of Discovery. Of the defense having to turn over any information to the prosecutor. Now, if there's any attorneys out there that want to conflict me on that, hey, I'm more than happy to listen. But Discovery does not go both ways. So, Discovery, the purpose of it is you're innocent until proven guilty, and the defense has a right to see the proof that the prosecution. The witness list, they have a right to interview all the witnesses in Discovery before it goes to trial. So that's where we are. Okay. We'll have to get a lawyer on the show. So.
Oh my gosh.
Next week, I'll just play excerpts from Law and Order for you. Or The Good Wife, or one of those. So.
Boston legal, baby.
The brief contains a cornucopia of quotes from Fox hosts and executives, which were taken from depositions, emails, and text messages gathered by Dominion and released to the public.
It's over. Can we move on?
Yeah, I'm done with it. Yeah, I'm done with it. Yeah. Well, we have to talk about this, Shane, in our last hour here. So, footage of UFOs over conflict zones seen for the first time. UFOs in conflict zones create a potential for unintended crossfire because combatants don't know whose assets they are. So, over the Middle East, there was a Pentagon released a video of a UFO flying over an active zone in the Middle East. And its mere existence creates the probability of unintended crossfire. So if you're gonna shoot at these UFOs, you might create an interstellar war.
Okay. Well, I only have one comment about that. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I just hope they're benevolent and not malevolent.
Yeah.
Okay. They're good people and not bad. Okay. That's all I care. I assume they're malevolent because they have contacted us and they see what a mess we are.
Yeah.
And that we're, an angry, destructive species that will destroy itself. Thank God we're not at the point of eating each other, but we will kill each other.
Well,
we will kill
we'll
each
do
other.
that.
So
Yeah, we will do that.
why would you want to talk to that species? I'm sure there's others in the universe. My God, everything's such a miracle. I watch these BBC shows about life and the universe, and I mean, what we've learned in just 20 years about the universe is just staggering. How big it is. I mean,
sure.
It's huge.
And it's apparently expanding or slowing down. I'm not sure which you can believe.
It's still expanding.
Yeah.
Unbelievably vast.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just hard for us to believe something always was. In our mentalities, things have a beginning and an end. But apparently with the universe, there was no beginning and there was no end. It just always was. So that's hard for us to comprehend.
The Old Testament says, God said, let there be light in Genesis. So here's the deal. If we find no intelligence in all these universes and out there, there are billions and billions of planets, then maybe he did create us, and it was the creation. But if we find other intelligence out there, then it maybe is evolution.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a podcast. I sent Thomas some information because the only form of life we know is carbon-based. So, yes, we're sentient beings. We have hands and a thumb, and we're able to build things, and we have a brain that works. So great. We only use 10% of our brain. Someone like Einstein, they figured only uses 15. So, let's see where we go before we get all excited.
Yeah. Well, what can I tell you?
More than me. You can tell them more than me.
Okay. I'm not going to deny that people have seen things in the sky they can't explain. I've seen things in the sky I can't explain. But the chances, the chances of life in the universe, there's no question. There would be life all over the universe. Intelligent life is another story.
Well, that's true. That's what I'm saying. A sentient being. Yeah.
Yeah.
That can physically build things. They have to be able to physically build things.
Well, even looking at the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs were wiped out supposedly by a meteor that hit the Earth and killed all the plant life, so the dinosaurs died. Theoretically, I guess.
Yeah, but in all science fiction, aliens are all carbon-based animals of some kind.
I understand. Well, it's fiction.
So no, that's why I said science.
Yeah, it's science fiction.
Science fiction.
Yeah.
So, but right now in science, as we know it today, and in the last 60 years, we don't know and have not conceived any form of life other than by carbon-based. Now, maybe there is some by hydrogen or oxygen or
helium,
there may be some other type of life in other forms. We don't know.
Yeah.
But everything on this planet that we've found is all carbon-based.
Well, it is. Yeah, and nobody's disputing that.
I know. I'm just making the statement.
Okay.
Trying to make it interesting.
Okay. Well, if intelligent life were that easy, when the dinosaurs were wiped out, after a few years, the skies cleared, vegetation grew again. Right. Why didn't the dinosaurs reappear? The conditions would have been the same. Why didn't the dinosaurs come back?
That's right. And archaeologists, biologists, and anthropologists will all tell you that in the extinction events, this planet suffered just in the last 100 million years. It's been around for 4.5 billion, but just in 100 million, anywhere from 95 to 99% of all life was destroyed. So it had to start back again. That's where the concept of evolution comes in. We'll see, when we wipe ourselves out, 10 million years from now, we'll see if it comes back.
Well, it's been millions of years since the dinosaurs and they haven't come back yet. So
like I said to Tom on Thursday, when we wipe ourselves out, the only way people will know will be if the stuff we left on the moon or the orbiters or,
the satellites hanging around.
Satellites we send out in
talking
space,
to nobody.
No one will know we were even here.
Yeah, but if there's, for life on this planet, dinosaurs, birds, fish, mammals, whatever, conditions had to be absolutely right, and not
Perfect.
absolutely right for a few weeks or a few years. We're talking about millions of years. The conditions had to be right for, call it evolution, call it, divine guidance, or, divine creation, whatever term you feel comfortable using. For that to happen on other planets is probably somewhat within the realm of possibility, that there are planets that are the exact conditions. But for them to get to us, that's doubtful. That's
well,
really
I was
doubtful.
watching David Attenborough last night on BBC on a program he did 10 years ago about elephants. And, they start out saying that, it's been around for 6 million years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And basically, there's only two types, but they've been around
Africa
a long
and India.
time.
Yeah.
India and Africa. That's right. Big ears,
Yeah.
little ears. I don't know. Would you want a little ear or big ear elephant?
I need the smaller one because I can't clean that much. But
that's right. And actually, they are better because that's what you lead them with.
Yeah.
Like a horse.
U.S. seeing more and more UFO sightings, but no definitive aliens yet, the Pentagon says. And even Elon Musk, in his talk with Tucker, said, haven't seen any aliens yet. Says he's out in space.
And that's why he said, I'm a speciesist. That he broke his relationship off, he said, with the guy from Google, because the guy isn't a speciesist. He doesn't believe in our species surviving.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk does. That's why he's doing what he's doing. Hurrah for him. I mean, he's the greatest brain of our time. I mean, who's smarter than and more successful than Elon Musk? There isn't another person.
Yeah.
He's the Ford of our times, or whatever you want to compare, whoever you want to compare it to.
Yeah, only Trump would come close, I guess.
Huh? Yeah, you're good. That was a good one. Yeah. What a ringer. You're such a ringer.
Well, a quote from the agencies checking into this, I guess. I should also state clearly for the record, in our research, AARO, whatever that is, has found no credible evidence thus far of extraterrestrial activity, off-world technology, or objects that defy the known laws of physics. Only a small percentage of unidentified aerial phenomenon reports display signatures that could reasonably be described as anomalous. The majority of unidentified objects reported demonstrated mundane characteristics of balloons, clutter, natural phenomenon, or other readily explainable sources. So unless somebody opens up Area 51 and shows us the aliens that they captured back in Roswell.
Right. And the footnote to what Tom read just said, please, provide $50 billion for us to further investigate.
Yeah, right. Let's get some money out here, because this is something the American people can get behind. We're ready for we're ready for aliens to come on down here and take us on. It'd be be like the British and the Indians. Only we're the Indians. So
that's right.
There you go. It's gonna be like that. So. Let's see. A Pentagon official suggests an alien mothership in our solar system could send mini probes to Earth. So maybe there's a giant mothership out there that maybe is hiding behind some planet somewhere that the telescopes can't see. And so. And it's shipping these guys off. I still don't understand why they need lights flying through space. Why do you need lights? So I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, I have a real quick question for you.
Go for it.
You know that number you always give out about your national debt and how much each household owns?
Yeah.
Do you have it on your clock there?
I do have it on my clock. I have it up every day. So
I know you do. What's the number?
Well, the debt per citizen, $94,000. The debt.
Okay, stop there. So, would you rather a check from the government for $95,000 or spend, another $32 trillion on stuff like, solar panels and looking for UFOs?
Yeah,
I'd take the check for $95,000.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't think so. Yeah,
my wife, each of my kids, now they can go to school. Come on, let's make some good choices.
Right. Well, as you know, if we're gonna cite numbers on one side, we got to cite them on all sides. So the debt the debt per citizen 94,715. The debt per taxpayer is 247,766.
Okay, forget my family. I'm the taxpayer. For my family, I get the check. Okay, I want the 200,000.
Yeah, right. So. The savings per family, $8,939 per family is the savings per family. And the assets per citizen, this would be everything you own, your house, cars, investments, bank accounts, land, whatever. The assets per citizens in the United States, $559,270. So there. So... we've got to go.
And we got to go. So say goodbye, Shane.
Say goodbye, Shane.
Thomas, you're a great best friend forever. I love doing this. It's so much fun. It's part of my life, of course. Be in the moment. Thank you all for listening. I always remember that you want to live to work. And we can't thank you enough for all your phone calls and questions. It makes it so much fun.
Amen.
We hope you have a great week. We look forward to next Saturday. And come home with a smile on your face. That's the way your family wants to see you.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much, Shane, for being with me. Always a pleasure. Best co-host in radio broadcast history. And, well, we really thank all the texters, all of the folks that contribute to the show. You guys make this so much fun for us. We tease some of the texters sometimes. Don't take it personally. I'm not out to get you or anything. It's, a little fun is okay. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.